Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're actually going to go over my top 10 fall of 2014 video. Now as you can see from the title, this is a designer list. I'm actually coming out with 3 different videos. One is the top 10 designer list, which is this one. The next is the top 10 niche list. And the final one is the top 10 fall fragrances that I recommend. The first 2 lists, the niche and the designer, are really the fragrances, again, that I personally wear. These are not necessarily fragrances that I recommend for people, but this will be what I'm wearing during the fall season. The final list, what I recommend, is really my suggestions to people for fall of this upcoming year. That list kind of changes, but either way, that's the list. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the actual video. To start off, I want to classify what I mean by fall, since I have many viewers who are overseas and not necessarily in the same climate that I'm in. I live in New York. The temperament here is shifting. So in the summer it's very hot, in the winter it's very cold, and in fall and spring in particular, it kind of shifts. Fall starts off a little bit warm, and then it kind of moves into the colder weather. So I like things that are generally on the colder side for fall. I pack things with a little bit more oomph. It's one of my favorite seasons. Actually, I think it is my favorite season as far as wearing certain fragrances go. But either way, that's kind of what I consider fall. Again, this is just my personal list. This is nobody else's list. These are just what I'm wearing, all right? Let's go ahead and get into the actual list. Starting off at number 10, we have from the House of Burberry, Burberry London. I find it very difficult to leave this fragrance off any of my fall lists just because it is, to me, fall in a bottle. I've said many times. It smells like dried leaves. It smells like not dried leaves, but a little bit of dried leaves, but it smells like leaves, fallen leaves in particular. So a mix between wet, damp leaves, dry leaves. It smells like the air around you as fall is really kind of going around. One thing that I firmly remember when I was younger is having to rake the leaves into huge piles, and sometimes I would, my brother and I would jump into the pile of leaves and we just kind of frolic and play around, and I remember that smell, and that's really what Burberry London reminds me of. I usually go for this one in small doses, so sometimes I wear it I guess you could say in scenarios where I know I'm only going to be wearing a fragrance for around like 2 hours or something. I generally don't like to wear this a little bit longer just because I find that personally when I wear it a little bit longer it starts to get a little bit nauseating to me. But it's still on my top 10 list because it's one that I wear, all right? So number 10, Burberry London. Coming in number 9, a fragrance that I actually initially hated when I first tried it, and it's grown on me over the years. It is none other than Dior's Fahrenheit by Christian Dior. This is an older fragrance. This fragrance, the first thing that came to mind was petroleum. It really smells like petroleum. And if you're looking at the actual notes themselves, you're going to basically get leather and violet leaf. That's what this composes of. But to me, it still smells a lot like petroleum. But I've actually begun to like it a lot. So for that reason, Fahrenheit has actually landed on my list, and I've actually been wearing it a little bit more. Now, I've heard it's been reformulated. This is the original version. I wear this casually, and I generally tend to wear it outdoors, basically. But it does well. Fahrenheit does get a couple compliments, even though it's been around quite a long time. Number 8, we have another one from the House of Christian Dior. We have Dior Homme. Dior Homme is the fragrance that I choose to wear in fall, generally because it's got this very nice iris lipsticky vibe to it with a little bit of cocoa, with a little bit of chocolate to it, which sounds weird but does absolutely fantastic. People like it. People will often compliment you on this. This one I generally tend to wear going out, to a bar, going out to, to eat with friends, something like that. Something where it's going to be a little bit louder as far as, people-wise goes, with noise and with the scents and smells around you. And that's really where I choose to wear this one. So Christian Dior's Dior Homme. Number 7, we have a new edition again. This is from the House of L'Occitane. It's one that I've started wearing. It is Cade. Cade is it's from the same makers, for those of you who don't know, as Eau de Bois, which is the tobacco vanille-like fragrance-ish. Now, Cade is a fragrance that's basically 2 main notes, and it's juniper and sandalwood. So it's woody, and it's got this juniper kick to it, and I think it works. It's very enjoyable. We'll see how it actually goes, but it's one that I'm going to be wearing, again, during the fall. Cade by L'Occitane. Number 6, we have from the house of Terry Mugler. What is a list without Terry Mugler? We have Pure Havane from the house of TM. Pure Havane is a vanilla Cuban cigar-ish type of a vibe to it. It has much of the same DNA as a lot of the pure fragrances, but I like it because it takes a nice little sweet tinge to it. It's a very enjoyable fragrance. It does get compliments. It's very unique in that manner, not of getting compliments, but it's very unique in its actual composition. And so for that, Pure Havane. Number 5, we have an old staple, still going strong from the house of Boss. We've got Boss Bottled, or Boss number 6. This one is an apple pie type of a fragrance. It's got an apple pie type of a vibe to it. It sounds really strange, but it's vanilla, cinnamon, and apple, really. It can come across as a little bit, I guess you could say, manufactured. I hate using the word synthetic because all fragrances, are synthetic to a degree, but Boss Bottled really still smells like a great fragrance to me. It just smells good, and that's really why I wear it. Apple pie, vanilla, cinnamon, what's not to like? What's not to like? And that's why it's still here. Boss Bottled, number 6. Coming in at number 4, we have a fragrance that I find is similar. Some people not so much, and it's from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It is L'Homme. Now this fragrance I generally tend to wear to work. I go a little bit easy on the trigger. It's a fragrance that is like ginger, apple type of a vibe to it. So it's to me it's very similar, only that it has like more of a ginger-ish kick to it rather than the apple cinnamon from Boss Bottled. And so absolutely fantastic fragrance, one that I highly recommend. L'Homme by YSL. Coming in at number 3, we have the fragrance that is actually my girlfriend's favorite fragrance up until this point, and that is Pure Malt. Pure Malt is an old yeller. He's old classic, basically. This is whiskey, chocolate, and smells a little bit like vanilla on it as well too. It's just got this nice little vibe to it, and for that I generally tend to wear this all sorts of occasions, going out, date. I don't go on dates anymore except with my girlfriend, but it really works well for those casual situations as well too. You smell great, people are going to compliment you. Fantastic fragrance, Pure Malt. Coming in number 2, we've got another favorite of mine from the house of Express, or the designer, Express Reserve. This, I just can't really say enough about this fragrance. This is brandy, spices. It's got a bit of amber to it. It's just a very sensual fragrance that really screams maturity to it. And running low on this stuff, I may have to actually get another bottle. But Express Reserve, another killer that I love to wear to bars and I love to wear out. Fantastic fragrance. Excellent in its own mind. Express Reserve. And my number 1 fragrance that has rocketed up and I'm just loving and killing it. It is the original version. It is from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It is M7. M7 has really grown on me, and I find this is one fragrance that when you spray it on, it still smells good, but it really turns into like a fantastic, excellent fragrance the more it mixes with your skin and the longer it stays on. This is one of those rare fragrances that just builds power over time and just gets, smells better and better and better, and it almost envelops like this is your actual scent rather than a scent being, an add-on. This becomes like a part of you. And that's really why I like M7. I wear M7, out in different situations as well, too. So YSL M7. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free. Let me know. Leave a message down below. Let me know what your top designer fragrances are for this season of fall of 2014. All right? Thank you. Take care of yourselves, and you have a great day.